It's a day that ends in Y, so President Trump decided to threaten press freedom and threaten an unconstitutional crackdown. So here's what he tweeted. The fake news is working overtime. Just reported that despite the tremendous success we are having with the economy and all things else, 91% of the network news about me is negative. Fake. I love how it puts it in parentheses. Why do we work so hard? Why do we work so hard in working with the media when it is corrupt? Take away credentials? Okay, so first of all, what does that mean? What does that mean, take away credentials? What do you mean? And then, believe it or not, I think it was Matt Drudge who said it. There's some right-wing outlet that said it. They said they fear that Donald Trump is going to force licensing of all media companies. Licensing? So, in other words, what that means is, hey, we'll determine what's true and what's not true. We're gonna have a ministry of truth, which wherein the government determines what's acceptable news and what's not. And then if it has this government stamp of approval, that's real. And if it doesn't, that's not real. Now, who in their right mind doesn't think Trump would pick Fox News to be trusted news and everybody else to be fake news? He would say CNN's fake, MSNBC's fake. To be fair to him, they are. But fake news is fake. But fake news. Fox News is fake too. They all run a lot of bullshit stories and have a ridiculous focus. And you have the pro-Republican bias on Fox News, pro-Democratic Party bias on MSNBC, establishment bias on CNN for both of them, sensationalism bias across the board. At no point do they touch on what's actually true and what's important. So, listen, the thing is that I find stunning is how many people on the right nowadays have become what they think are heroes for the First Amendment. And all I care about is free speech and the Constitution and press freedom. Yes, this is my issue, my one issue. Thank you very much. And then President Fuckface goes out there every other day talking about how, hey, maybe we should make news outlets be licensed, take away credentials, and all the free speech warriors. Shh. Just imagine Obama said this same thing. And what would the right-wing free speech warriors say if Obama threatened to take away credentials from media outlets he doesn't like? If he threatened a licensing system? What would the response be? Oh, my unconstitutional press crackdown! Thin-skinned authoritarian dictator threatens to take away the freedom of companies that are just expressing their free speech and giving their opinions. Unbelievably unfair. But when Trump does it, he's not politically correct. He's an idiot is what he is, and he's authoritarian as fuck. But now, okay, so that's me going after Trump, and everybody knows exactly what I think about Trump. But here's the flip side of this. When the media, traditional media, mainstream media, corporate media, when they come out and they respond to shit like this, they have no credibility. Because what they're going to do is they're going to feign, they're going to feign outrage, and they're going to act like, this is unbelievable. We are the protectors of democracy and freedom in this country, and we hold the powerful people accountable. Yes. But they don't. Just because Trump is wrong to shit on the media and threaten them all the fucking time doesn't mean by definition that the media is actually doing a good job. 'Cause they're not. And oftentimes, they do spread fake news, and then when Trump points out that they spread fake news, a lot of people go, yeah, you know what, he's right about that, fuck the media. Because the media, listen, they have still never come to terms with the fact, and reckon with the fact, that they across the board push for the Iraq war. An offensive war against a country that didn't attack us, an illegal war, based on lies. Now, the whole job of the media is to hold the people in power accountable. Instead of holding them accountable, they were stenographers. Whatever the Bush administration said, everybody would print. It didn't matter how preposterous it was, how absurd it was. There was no fact-checking. There was none. They even went as far as to call torture enhanced interrogation. Why? Because that's what Bush wanted them to do. Call torture enhanced interrogation because we're calling it enhanced interrogation, and they did. Doesn't matter that we learned that all of those tactics were from a communist Chinese manifesto on how to torture. Didn't matter. They didn't call it torture. Why? Because we do it. And they said, the government said cover it like this. So, you're not protectors of democracy and freedom, and you don't hold people in power accountable. For fuck's sake, you guys bent over backwards to not cover the WikiLeaks stuff. The press, how much did the press feign outrage over where the email leaks may have came from? All they did was, Julian Assange, WikiLeaks, working with the Russians? Working with the Russians? Ah! Ah! If you really were serious about doing journalism and doing reporting and holding powerful people accountable, it doesn't matter where the fucking leaks came from. What matters is the substance of the emails. Motherfuckers, they rigged a primary. They rigged a goddamn primary against one of the two candidates. And instead of calling that out, instead of quoting Hillary Clinton and showing how she said, for example, there's bigotry against the rich in this country. They're so oppressed. They're so oppressed. Instead of accurately quoting her and talking about what we learned in the emails, talking about how there were debate questions that were slipped to Hillary before the fact, what did you do? You fucking buried it. You buried it. So you don't get to hide the real news stories. You don't get to question whether or not Edward Snowden should be in prison and then feign like, oh, we hold powerful people accountable and we're not fake at all and Trump is so wrong for picking on us because we are everything that's good in this country. Ah. No, you're not. You're a bunch of pampered little prick assholes. You're part of the elite club. You're establishment insiders. You suck at your job. And that's why when Trump calls you fake news and threatens you, it resonates. Now, again, I'm crystal clear. He should never threaten the media, ever. No person with authority should licensing, Ministry of Truth. Fuck off, you unconstitutional prick. But that doesn't mean that you, by definition, did a good job. You do a shitty job, and deep down, you know you do a shitty job.